3 testify divine. 1 John chapter 5 verse 7, no lie. Can you see the GodHead's design? Revelation 21 verse 7, divine sign. Jesus, God in heaven reigning supreme. No weapon from condemn the blessed dream. God's alive, reverence, face, no tokens. Perfect love, holy one, never broken. 3 in 1, GodHead's group began. GodHead, the victory is won. Let him know, brother. Let him know. Yeah. Come on. Let him know, brother.
The question then is this, brother, is Ibn Ishaq, basically, he says that Muhammad would oftentimes go to the Kaaba and actually worship some of the idols there.
I think you mentioned it last time.
We've spoken about it.
Oh, yeah.
And also, Ibn Ishaq makes the claim, and makes the point anyway, based on his account, historical account of the biography of Muhammad, which is revered amongst scholars, and basically he says that Muhammad offered to his own uncle food
that was slaughtered by idol.
That was sacrificed.
I think you mentioned it before.
Yeah.
I remember you mentioned it before.
Yeah.
So, and I said I was going to check on it, but I forgot about that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the challenge, because if he was offered food sacrificed, if Muhammad offered food sacrificed to idols, then he's looking at that kind of food as halal. If he's offering it to his own uncle.
Was it post-prophethood or pre-prophethood?
Pre-prophethood.
Yeah, but that's pre-prophethood though.
Yeah, but this is the thing. This is what I'm trying to say. It's about the integrity and the trust. Because when you look at all of the prophets, all of them, even Apostle Paul, there was a quality of their lifestyle.
Do you believe Paul was a prophet, by the way? Like a prophet?
I believe Paul. Yeah, there's no reason to suggest that Paul wasn't a man mightily used by God.
Okay.
I mean, he was a well-educated man, and he's very open, very transparent. His gospel is not inconsistent.
Really?
Okay. We'll get to that. Let's qualify the quality of the revelation, and then we can look at Paul.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's, no one really talks about Paul that much.
Yeah, because
everyone talks about some
I've heard a lot of stuff about Paul.
Yeah, we'll talk about Paul. We'll talk about Paul. But so, how do you reconcile Ibn Ishaq's graphical accounts of Muhammad basically being involved in paganism and actually offering food that was sacrificed to idols, and and all of that, eating it himself, worshipping at the Kaaba and all of this? Like, how do you reconcile that with someone who's supposed to be the example to all mankind?
Yeah, I mean, I understand your point, and the point you made about Ishaq, I'm not really 100% familiar with it, so I do need to double check on it. But if you were to ask me that, and if I do come to the conclusion that that is the case, I would have to say that this was pre-prophethood. Yeah. So he's not a prophet yet, and he wasn't the guide. For example, he wasn't the guide for mankind at that point. So everything he done then was basically void, because if his prophethood began, for example, if he did this after his prophethood, then you would have it would make sense to check the credibility of his prophet. But this is pre-prophetic Muhammad, so he didn't receive the divine revelation that he was a prophet yet, and he was obviously a person of the time. Okay. And also, if you compare it to other prophets, it's not really the worst thing. For example, Aaron made an idol with his own hands in the Old Testament.
But this
was why he was a prophet.
But he repented of it.
Yeah.
But he was forced to, because obviously when Moses went up the mountain, to engage with God, he had all the pressure of the people. He made it, no doubt. He absolutely, he made it. But it was a clear sin, and what we know is that when Moses came down, those 2 commandments he broke.
He what?
He broke the 10 Commandments because Moses was so upset.
Yeah, and Aaron was a prophet of God. And he made an idol while being a prophet. And
he made a mistake.
So prophets
Absolutely.
are supposed to be like advising people, calling you to God, teaching you how to worship God. And like, Aaron is one example. Like,
so you have to remember.
Yeah.
You have to remember that there was a ramification because of what Aaron did.
What does that mean? Ramification?
So there was a consequence. So the standard of God that was brought down was broken. And as we know, there was a division in the camp anyway, because Moses said, what side are you on, effectively?
Yeah.
And so there was a division. So we have to also remember the providence of God and how God operates, because clearly, obviously what was done, but when you have the whole people unsanctified, still letting go of the Egyptian,
like paganism.
lifestyle, paganism. This is the kind of things that could happen. But I think you just have to think about is when you look at Muhammad's parents.
Yeah, they were both idolaters.
Okay, so what was the religion?
They were pagans.
Okay, so
they were pagans,
paganism.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you believe Muhammad was a pagan?
No. Well, both prophethood or pre-prophethood?
Pre-prophethood.
Pre-prophethood, I don't know. Because there are narrations in the hadith where he actually refused to eat slaughtered meats from idols.
Okay.
I don't know.
In fact, there's a hadith that says somewhat the opposite.
Is it?
Yeah.
It is sahih though. Not all hadith are authentic. Some are fabricated, some are weak. So it's important to check the credibility of the hadith. Because even some Muslims, they fall into this mistake. They look at hadith and they automatically take it from face value without analysing whether it's sahih or not.
Okay.
For example, there's one that my father came on this hadith where the Prophet said that one prayer wearing a turban is better than 70 without it. This hadith is actually fabricated. And I actually correct my father on this because I checked it out for myself.
Okay.
So this is one example of why hadith, you should always check if it's authentic or not. Because not everything attributed to the Prophet is authentic.
Yeah.
Some is authentic, some is good, some are weak, some are very weak, and some are fabricated. These are the categories of hadith.
Yeah, exactly.
So the sahih we all accept. If it's sahih, and also one thing you need to keep in mind is that some scholars will differ on the authentication of hadith. So some might say it's weak, some might say it's fabricated, some might say sahih, some might say it's not one sahih. So it's like there's a science behind it. The science of hadith. It's a really
I'm trying to.
Yeah. You find the hadith, for example, like Bukhari, Muslim, Tirmidhi, Sunan Abi Dawud, Sunan Ibn Majah, Sunan Nasa'i. These are like the 6 hadith books which are mostly authentic. Even though like not everything in it is authentic, the vast majority of the content in these books are authentic.
Okay.
And there are obviously people here that are way more learned than me about hadith. So if you want, you can discuss with some of them. But I will try to give you as much information as I can about it.
Okay. All right.
Like, for example, people like Hashim, people like Masood, people like Anand. I don't know if you've seen them. You met them?
Who's that?
People like people that come in regularly. They're way more knowledgeable than me, so they can give you more insight about hadith.
Yeah. Okay.
And for example, who can I recommend here as like a really good person of hadith? There's many. If I see someone, I'll try to recommend you.
Yeah. No doubt. I mean, there is the
whole science behind hadith.
Yeah. So I guess the question then is, because there is basically a hadith which talks about Zayd, his uncle, Muhammad's uncle, being brought food that was sacrificed to idols.
By Muhammad?
Yeah, so Muhammad is the one who brought the food that was sacrificed to idols and he offered it to his uncle.
Pre-prophethood, isn't it? Or post?
Yeah,
okay. Everything is pre-prophethood, isn't it?
Pre-prophethood. So are you
Jazakallah khair.
Thank you. Are you sort of comfortable Are you comfortable with Muhammad eating food sacrificed to idols or offering it? Are you comfortable with that pre-prophethood?
To be honest, if Muhammad ate meat slaughtered by idol or sort of two idols, I need to check whether it's true or not. And even if it is true, I don't think I would have a problem with it because this is pre-prophethood.
You wouldn't have a problem with it, really?
Because this is you need to understand, this was like pre-prophet Muhammad.
Before his prophet. Okay, so then,
Yeah.
what was...
It is true though. Sorry.
Okay, so you're saying, what's your answer again? Are you saying, are you sort of like, you don't even mind if he was eating food sacrificed to idols, and if he was, let's just say, a pagan, would you be...
I'm not sure he's a pagan though, because there was a hadith where he was offered food from an idol and he refused it. And in the hadith, he would regularly go to the mountain and meditate because he was unhappy by the way things were going on in Mecca. So he would regularly go to the mountain and stay there for many days, like a long amount of days.
Yeah.
But he wanted to get away with all the things that were happening, like the idol worship, the burial of baby girls alive, the poor being neglected by the rich, the hierarchy. There was many immoral things going on.
See what you're talking about is a biographical account of Muhammad.
Hadith, yeah.
So a hadith, we know it came out later than the Sirah. The hadith.
Hadith was narrated by the companions.
Okay.
So there's a chain of narration going from...
So what's the date? What's the date of these surahs? If you was to date it.
I think all hadith are the same, some are different, but generally hadith...
It's definitely hundreds of years later.
Sure?
Yeah. It's a fact.
I don't know about that.
It's a
so
fact.
why know that hadith is a chain of transmission from one person to another, to the Prophet, and all these people, in order for it to be sahih at least, all these people need to be trustworthy people. Like, for example, we need to know who these are at least. At the very least, we need to know who they are.
Okay.
Like their biographies, who they were they reliable, were they vouched for, like were they known to be liars or fabricators?
Yes, exactly, the different, or
were they known to be truthful person? Were they known to have bad memory?
Yes.
Even that is considered when we authentic hadith. Like even if, let's say let's say there's 8 people in the chain, all of them were verified. If one of them was known to have bad memory, the hadith is automatically question mark on it. Due to that one person. So that's how we really we're careful with our religion, because if only one person is faulty, even though everyone else is authenticated, that hadith automatic question mark will either be weak or very weak. So it's questionable. And scholars they do their stuff with it.
I know there's grades,
grades.
I know there's grades. Like Daif is 4, and Sahih is good. Then you got Hassan, which is good.
Yeah, good.
I know the grades. Yes, and so what we see with regards to the eating of meat, the sacrificed idols, is actually it's actually good. And inside. So, but anyway, so now the issue that I would say one would have with Muhammad adopting and endorsing sort of pagan behaviors. I know you mentioned a point about where he goes to the mountain and pray. That information comes from Ibn Ishaq.
Yeah.
So I know, I know obviously some people that it's all kind of it's stuff that is kind of you hear and that sort of stuff. But when you look at the facts, a lot of the information about, or the best information about his biography is from Ibn Ishaq. And that's considered, it's respected.
Great.
It's respected. And you'll look into it, like you said, you're going to look into it.
Ibn Ishaq's biography,
Okay, so
you might be asking,
so there was a quick question, and why am I saying all this wrong? Why am I asking all these things? It comes back to the question of what is the religion of the pre-prophet Muhammad?
That is a good question. That's what I need to know. So for what I've noticed that he wasn't happy with what was going on in the Arabian Peninsula, and he wasn't happy with the idolatry that was happening, and that's why he would regularly leave the city.
let's just get you. Keep going, bro.
But we do know 100% that his parents were both idolaters. His mother and father were both idol worshippers.
Yeah.
Likewise, Abraham's father was also idol worshipper.
Let's just conclude.
Yeah. So his parents were both idol worship, and we know from the hadith of the Prophet that his mother and father they both died pagans. But his father died before he was born, and his mother died when he was, I think, 6. Yeah. And
but can you see why I asked you initially what your faith was as a child, and kind of what was your answer when I asked you about your faith? You said,
faith?
Yeah, you said you
I'm
was.
a Muslim.
You said you was born a Muslim.
Yeah, I was raised Muslim. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you said, did you use the word born a Muslim?
Yeah, I was born Muslim. Yeah.
Okay, you was born a Muslim. Okay. So
I
then,
mean, everyone's born a Muslim until they leave it. Right?
so how about Muhammad before his prophethood? What was he born?
Well, obviously, the Quran says everyone is a Muslim until their father makes them a Christian or Jew. So that's basically what our stance on the situation.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure in the hadith.
Because in the eyes of his parents, Muhammad would have been born like they were.
Yeah, but in Islam,
You called them idolaters, pagans.
Yeah, they were. They died as pagans.
So why wouldn't Muhammad be born into paganism?
So obviously he was born in a society which predominantly worshipped idols, but there were also various monotheists.
Yeah.
Even some of the companions of the Prophet, before they accepted Islam, they were monotheists.
Yeah.
And when he became Prophet and he was preaching, they accepted his message because they were already previously monotheists.
Yeah.
Likewise, there were Jews in the Arabian Peninsula and Christians, which are also considered monotheistic to an extent.
Yeah.
And there were also monotheists that weren't specifically Christians or Jews,
Yeah.
but there were monotheists in the Arabian Peninsula. For example, there's in Islam, there's 10 people, there were 10 Sahaba, they were promised heaven. One of them was previously, before Islam, he was a monotheist, and he refused the meat of slaughtered by the idols. I've got the name, but I think I could bring it out.
But can you see the simplicity of, I guess, the query? Because you say you're born a Muslim because your parents were Muslim at your time of birth, and you were raised within the folds of Islam.
Yeah.
So why couldn't that be the case for anybody else? So, for
that
example,
could definitely be the case for anyone else.
you see what I'm saying? Because with his parents were pagans, like you said. I didn't say. You said his parents.
His
were
dad died
idolaters.
before he was born, and his mum died when he was 6. Then after that, he was foster cared by his grandfather, Abdul Muttalib, which passed away then by his uncle, Abu Talib.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which were all pagans, by the way.
Okay, so they're all pagans. Yeah, I think he had one uncle, Zayd bin Amir. I think he was a Christian. He had a Christian uncle. I think.
I know Khadija. Khadija's brother was a Christian. What's the name? Monica?
Okay.
What's the name?
But you see this in his biography because it goes into detail. But
because Khadija's brother, after he came from the cave and he saw the Gabriel, he was scared, and he seek counsel from Monica with a Christian monk. And Monica also said, affirmed that he was a prophet, because he recognized he was learned in the Injil and the Torah.
okay.
And so the prophet described his situation in the mountain, and Monica said that he's a prophet, and he was a Christian monk, which is Khadija's brother. I don't know if it's Monica or his other name.
Got to get the source.
Yeah.
Because I think it might say a bit differently, but it's interesting. The source, if you're able to get a source, it'd be very interesting.
I'll try and find it, because I'm not sure if it's Monica or someone else.
It's okay. But the point is that the same way you said you was born a Muslim, is the same way you could argue on that principle alone that Muhammad was born a pagan.
It is. I know what you're saying. It is possible.
Because because it's not fair to say he wasn't if you cannot name the religion that he was raised in.
Yeah.
Because I think that shows somewhat, a gap or some form of dishonesty.
According to Muslim tradition, Muhammad was handed someone who professed monotheism.
Exactly. And this is the point. Yeah, this is the point. So
I think he was monotheist.
No, so this is the thing. When we say monotheist, the question then is, what is the name of that religion? Because we don't have
Oh,
we don't
like
have
a specific name.
Yeah, what's the specific name of the religion?
I'm not sure. I don't really know.
I tell you why. Because by the time Muhammad was born, we had Judaism.
Yeah.
We had Christianity.
Yeah, religion had names.
Yeah, there were names. So it's not like you can't just like it's like today someone saying they're monotheists.
So technically, the religion of the idolaters. Really, but you know the religion of the idolaters, they didn't really have a name either.
The religion of the idolaters?
The idolaters around him.
Well, what about, like some people would say Hinduism is...
But the
some
religion...
people would say Buddhism.
Yeah, but the religion of the Arabs during his time, they never really called it Hinduism.
No, they did. They did. Yeah, so for example, so this is the thing, so...
I don't think they were Hindus.
No, I'm not saying Hindus. Like, what I'm saying is there was a name...
there probably was Hinduism during that time.
For the idolaters.
But I've never heard of any name that the idolaters call their religion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you look at it...
They worship Allah, Uzza, many gods, but there was never an official name for their religion. They were just known... When we refer to them, we refer to them as pagans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you look at the Qurayshi tribe, so this was the tribe that Muhammad was from?
Yeah, he was from the Hashim clan.
Yeah, so
Quraysh tribe.
So they worshipped, I believe, at the Kaaba, but they worshipped a god called...
Many. Allah.
I believe Hubal.
Hubal, he was like one of the main gods.
Okay, what's the symbol?
Hubal was like the chief of the idols, I think. And he was the god of caravans and fate, I think. I'm not too sure. But I don't know what they were just statues.
But so, historically, if you were to just Google Hubal, what would you find if you just Googled it?
That's interesting. Let me do it.
Hubal. So Hubal is spelled H for Harry, U for uniform, B for Bravo, A for Apple, L for Lima.
Like that?
Yeah, Hubal. Yeah, that's it.
I do.
So what symbol do you notice?
There's a star, a moon, and a sun for this one. Here there's a moon. And there's... Okay, for example, I don't know why the picture of Muhammad and the angel. Okay, now that's Hindu god, but the main one there.
If you can even just put next to it symbol, Hubal symbol.
Symbol of Hubal. Yeah.
So what's the trend?
Oh, are you alluding that
I'm just asking you, like, what symbol do you see?
I know it's a moon, but you know, by the way, the crescent moon wasn't actually affiliated with Islam. Okay. It was only affiliated with Islam with the Ottoman Empire. You know that. So you're saying that what you're seeing when you put in Hubal, which is a pagan god, you see a crescent moon,
and you see a little star.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you know, that symbol had nothing to do with Islam. It became affiliated with Islam through the Ottoman Empire. Because if you look historically, like let's forget religious side. Historically, you will never find the crescent moon or star in any Muslim empire before the Ottomans.
Okay. So was that symbol part of the Qurayshi tribe?
I'm not sure.
Because if you look into it, you will see that was one of the major gods of the Quraysh.
It was the major god of the Kaaba,
which came from the same tribe as Muhammad.
Yeah.
So then, if I was to ask you again, if he was born into a tribe like this who worshipped many idols, what was Muhammad born into?
I'm not sure.
I don't know. You don't want to say.
Are you alluding that he was born into paganism and then he was preaching a religion of paganism? Or?
No, I think it's clear because what other religion would it be?
There was several religions in the Arabian Peninsula at the time.
No, but you can clearly see that his parents were pagan.
Yeah.
Like you said, I didn't say. We can find it in Hadith anyway. Because he goes and he prays that God will save his parents and basically Allah says no.
Praying to God.
No, so he basically is sad that, obviously his parents have died as pagans because you see, they followed, maybe generationally, the idols of their forefathers.
Yeah, that's what they did.
And so this particular god was called Hubal.
Yeah.
And
they had several idols.
They had several.
Al-Lat, Al-Uzza, Al-Manat.
Yeah, many. Yeah, many. But Hubal was one of the big ones, and they died, and obviously in his prophethood he was upset about it. Okay. But what are the odds of him being born into paganism? What are the odds?
I don't know. I mean, Abraham was born into paganism.
Be intellectually honest. Be intellectually honest. Come on.
Like, when you ask what are the odds, like, what do you mean?
Like what I mean is like if you think about it, his parents were pagan.
Yeah.
And let's say he's 10 years old, 12 years old.
Yeah.
Obviously, his parents would be going to the Kaaba, and they'd be going to all these places, doing the various Qureshi rituals.
Yeah.
So then, do you not believe that Muhammad participated in that?
I mean, the evidence...
At 10 years old, or 5 years old?
I mean, his father died before he was born, and his mother died at 6. So, I don't know.
Like you said, his uncles who he raised with were
pagans, yeah.
So,
evidence
do you see what I mean?
If there's evidence that suggests that he was, then obviously I have no choice to accept it. If there's no evidence to support it, I mean, I can't really affirm it.
No, but what do you think? Like, he's a kid, right?
Yeah.
And he would have followed his uncles everywhere.
Well, obviously a kid, yeah. Obviously a kid. When you're a kid, you follow your... Yeah, but growing up, he can have his own ideas.
But can you
independent thinking.
Yeah, can you see how I'm looking at the text? So
you're alluding to like the suggestion that he grew up a pagan.
No, what I'm saying is, what I'm trying to show you is the importance of, like, when you're looking at something presented before you, you have to reason.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Not just from sort of thin air, but you're kind of looking at historical sources, archaeology, and you're looking at what is rational within that text. You're looking at context, etc. And so when you add all of those things together, brother, like what you see is somebody that was born into, let's just say,
of paganism.
A pagan background, because his uncles, obviously his mum died at 6, so his mum died as an idolater. And the odds of him going to the rituals, going to the various ceremonies, getting initiated into paganism, that would be more likely than not. I know.
We need evidence, though.
No, but it's in the Ibn Ishaq. It's all there.
Well, I will analyze Ibn Ishaq claim, because I haven't actually seen it myself. But if we were to, like, for example, agree that he didn't have a pagan background, would you think that would nullify him as a prophet?
So then this is the challenge. This is the challenge. Now, if Muhammad was a pagan,
or like pre-prophethood.
Pre-prophethood. Okay, pre-prophethood. And if obviously his parents, I think we both agree.
They're pagans.
Based on the evidence.
They're both idolaters. 100%, no doubt with that.
That he was.
Then
we look at the circumstances surrounding his adolescence, his childhood. Like 5, 4, 3 years old. The odds of him going to these ceremonies are super high. Are super high because everyone he knows is Qureshi,
but again, we do need evidence.
I know it's hard to swallow, but it's okay.
No, but we do need evidence.
No, the evidence is in the Sirah. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm getting my knowledge. I'm getting this from the Sirah.
Okay.
From your sources, not mine. So I'm not making it up, brother.
The Sirah is about the meat slaughtered.
It has more as well.
Or more?
Yeah, it talks about his journeys to the Kaaba, his involvement with some of the idols.
Worshipping them?
Yes, his time in the caves. It's very interesting. But Ibn Ishaq is a Muslim, fully fledged Muslim. So he's not like this is any other source. This is the earliest source of his Bible.
He's a well respected.
100%. Check it.
His books have been criticized.
I don't know who else. Personally, I don't know who else you would go to understand, the biography of Muhammad. I don't know who else you would go to. Because I think it would be.
You're very curious. I actually want to look at it now.
No, it's really,
it will raise you. It maybe want to learn more about Muhammad's pre-prophethood life.
Oh yeah. You've got to.
Most of the stuff I know is post-prophethood. I don't really know much about pre-prophethood.
This is the thing. So then, why am I saying this? And your question about does it nullify him as a prophet and so forth?
Because I asked this question because like if we compare it to like several other prophets, like there are many prophets that were raised in pagan backgrounds. For example, I'd say one of the best examples I can use is Moses. He was raised in the house of Pharaoh. He was an idolater, pagan, Egyptian. He grew up with Pharaoh, like in Pharaoh's household. So I could basically everything that all the points he made is basically applies to Moses as well because
it's
probably since he was a baby.
Do you know what? Do you know why it's a bit? It's a bit. I would say it's a bit different. In fact, it's probably very different. Very different.
Because Moses was a baby and all the way to adulthood he was with Pharaoh. So it would be sensible to, even though there's no evidence to support this, like I would say I don't have evidence to support that he was idolater growing up.
Oh, come on. Because I think
I don't believe Moses was idolater, by the way.
Exactly, yeah. Exactly,
I'm just saying, if I was to look at it the same way, someone would have to assume that Moses also grew up a pagan because he grew in the house of Pharaoh.
Do you know why it's different?
Yeah.
It's different because a Jew is a Jew by race, like an actual Jew.
Someone, like an ethnicity.
It's an ethnic background, and it's also a religion.
Yeah, but you could be a Jew without practicing Judaism, though, you know?
Yeah. I get that, but when we're talking about the person of Moses, he was ethnically a Jew.
Yeah, like it's a Hebrew person.
Exactly. And he was, and he practiced, obviously, the tenets.
But the Hebrews were also idolaters before they were saved from Israel, from Egypt. They were idolaters, were they not? Or they came from the Sea of Egypt. Or were they not?
Not really. No. So obviously at that point, remember they descend from Abraham.
Yeah.
So Abraham was.
A monotheist.
Yeah, exactly. So
Ishmael, like the Arabs, they came from Ishmael. They ended up becoming idolaters.
Yeah, no, this is what I'm saying. So the children of Israel, because of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they knew who the true God was. But they just ended up in a place like Egypt, where, they were suffering very hard labor.
So were they still monotheists while they were slavery?
They of course.
Why did they resort to paganism?
No. They knew the true God. It's just that they were in an environment where it was paganistic. If that's the word. It was paganistic. But don't get me wrong, there would have been some that fell away. And the whole Torah touches on that constant coming, that relationship with God.
I know about that.
Do you know what I mean? But so it's a bit different because they're through their ethnicity and through their bloodline, through the actual religion of Judaism, worshipping the one true God. We know that they knew of God as the one true God. With Muhammad, it's different because, and I just take it from the principle of what you were saying, being born into Islam. Okay, he was born into paganism according to Ibn Ishaq, raised by his mum, who would have taken him to ceremonies, rituals. Ibn Ishaq also says he went to, like I said, the Kaaba and did all this other stuff. His uncles, like you were saying, they were pagans. And so, can you imagine a child who wouldn't know anything? He's going to obviously be born into the world of paganism.
I understand your point,
But it's just whether, obviously, you acknowledge and accept that prior to his prophethood, he was born into paganism.
There's evidence for it, I'll have no choice. If there's evidence for it, I'll have no choice to explain it. I will look into it. Yeah.
So then, what is the...
I might even have it in my library, because my dad has a book of Islamic books. It might be there, I'll ask him to read it, if he has it. Yeah. What was you going to say?
So then, what is the significance of Ibn Ishaq? What is the significance of Muhammad being born into paganism and growing up, following the practices of paganism? What is the significance? Because at 18, let's just say at 18, at 14, at 10, at 5, I mean, how much is he? He's not an adult yet, right? He's not like an adult, fully like you're 22. He's not like your age and everything, where he's discovered himself. And we know at age 40, he became a prophet. Right, according to Islamic theology. Okay,
40.
At 40 years old.
Yeah.
So then there's everything up until that point. What was he doing, etc. Which is important to know.
It's a good question, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then,
but maybe there's like stages where maybe he grew up. This is a baby. I'm not saying factually, but I say maybe when he was a child, he was in a pagan environment. He was doing what his mother, uncles were doing, etc. He grew up, he transitioned, and it's possible that it wasn't like a must that he had to follow that paganism. Like, he could have went his own way.
You need to show the evidence, though.
I'm not saying this is factual. I'm just saying this could have happened because,
okay, I know, you're assuming
to say that he was a pagan throughout all 40 years, saying that with no evidence would be a little bit of a stretch.
Exactly. If there's no evidence, and there is, but if there's no evidence, then it's like, well, how do we know? We don't know. Do you know what I'm saying? So I'm more than happy to be intellectually honest and be like, there isn't clear evidence that we know the life of Muhammad prior to the age of 40. If there's no evidence, then I'm like, okay, no problem. But according to Islamic sources and the Quranic sources, within Islamic theology, there are evidence. Now, what's the significance of Muhammad being a pagan prior to age 40? On the principle of being born into paganism. Okay. So I don't want to be rude or anything.
Yeah.
What is the significance? People often say, was Jesus a Muslim?
Yeah.
You can't say that anymore.
Why?
Because if you say can Jesus be a Muslim?
Yeah.
Then what was Muhammad? If he was born into paganism.
Obviously, Jesus was a Muslim because he submitted to God, isn't it? He submitted because that's what Muslim means by definition. And we also believe Muhammad was also Muslim because
you can't say that.
Why not?
Because then you're mixing that shirk. You're mixing paganism with.
Only when he was a prophet, he was a Muslim. When he was a prophet, he was a Muslim. 100%, no.
Okay, so Muhammad, born into paganism, worshipping and doing all the pagan rituals and practices, he was a Muslim.
Well, if he was doing that, then obviously he wasn't then. But after when he became a prophet, when he became a prophet at 40, then he became a Muslim.
Okay, so he either was a Muslim or he wasn't before age 40. What's your answer?
Well, I actually don't know. I need to study the works in the Shack and see for myself what he says about Muhammad's life prior to age 40. But if I do find the conclusion that he did have pagan, he was involved in paganism before, then
that changes everything.
It doesn't, because for example, if he was a pagan until, let's say, for growing up, then at age 40 he gets a revelation that he needs to be a prophet, then he abandons all the pagan beliefs and accepts monotheism, then he becomes a Muslim then.
No, so what happens is what I was saying about the scope of who was a Muslim and who wasn't. So the scope of saying Abraham was a Muslim, Jesus was a Muslim, Solomon was a Muslim, David was a Muslim. That scope shrinks. It literally shrinks until the time of Muhammad. You cannot use that anymore.
But how did it shrink to the time of Muhammad? Because Islam, all of the prophets before predate Muhammad, they all were monotheists historically. No one denied that. They all submitted to God, and Muslims claim that they were Muslim because, by definition, a Muslim is someone who submits to God. And for argument's sake, let's say Muhammad, A'udhu Billah, was a pagan, was a pagan for 40 years. Then he became a Muslim, but he received a relationship with Gabriel. Then he accepts that there's one God. Then he becomes a Muslim at that point. So him making the claim at that point that all the previous prophets are Muslim, it doesn't really change that claim.
It does. Because how can it be good enough for the prophets, but not good enough for the last prophet for all mankind? The best example for all mankind.
Yeah, he was the best example from the start of the prophethood until the end. He was the best, but we don't follow him. we don't really follow anything Muhammad does prior to his prophethood, because if you ask any Muslim like in the world, you won't find a single one that will take a practice of Muhammad prior to his prophethood and implement it in their life. Everything like from the night he became Muslim, the night we believe he became Muslim, from the night he became a prophet, that's when he becomes now our guide.
So the issue that you've got is this.
Yeah. For example, I'll give you another example.
The issue you've got is this, and I'll let you come in. The issue that you've got with that is you can't say, like I said, I think it's tough to say all the other religions where you have, all the other prophets, are Muslim. Yeah. But then, prior to the age of 40, Muhammad is not a Muslim. When you said that you can be born a Muslim, so
we believe. It becomes a little bit. Clarify, but when we say everyone's born a Muslim, we believe that Islam is naturally inclined in everyone when they're born. So everyone is a Muslim until they become something else when they grow up. For example,
isn't it an ideology rather than an actual faith claim? Because
even if you look at atheists, when they were little, when an atheist, for example, when an atheist was a baby or like a little child, they believed in God. And when they grew up, they started to think, then they were like, I don't believe in God anymore. When they were little, everyone believed in God. They're not. That's what we mean. When we say everyone's born a Muslim. Even a little kid, like a toddler, like 4 years old.
Born a Muslim.
Huh?
Okay, well, go on.
Even like if you ask a toddler who's like 4 years old, they believe in the sense of God. If you know what I mean. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Yeah,
everyone believes in the Creator at that age, like
I think
God.
The innocence gives them that.
Yeah, but then when they grew up, they kind of become something else. Like you might want to become a Christian or Jew or Hindu. Yeah. That's what we mean by when we say everyone is born a Muslim until their parents make them something else. Okay. So this is about everyone. So this is why even to the Prophet himself, like for argument's sake, let's say A'udhu Billah, he was a pagan, like when he was a child, A'udhu Billah. This applies to him as well, because we believe everyone is born with that natural inclination of monotheism until their parents or their guardian who raised them make them something else.
So then the contradiction is clear, because you say, let's just reaffirm, do you know the religion of Muhammad before age 40?
No.
Okay. So then, do you know any historical...
I'm sure someone here does.
No, it's fine. And a lot of these guys, they run away, which is the problem. Yeah. You tell them to come to me, watch, they won't.
Okay. But you might have asked someone.
After.
Okay. Well, right now, because they might have a different answer to me.
Who do you want to ask? Who do you want to ask?
Aki, you speak English. Oh, okay.
He doesn't know. They won't know. But you see,
I was going to ask if Rasulullah, what was the deen Rasulullah before Islam? You know? Which one? Oh, okay, you don't know.
Yeah, you know
English. But I'm sure someone here could maybe answer. I'm not too learned on the subject.
It's fine.
I know the most of the information I know about my prophet is post-prophet.
Yeah, it's just a conversation, don't worry. It's a conversation.
Yeah.
But
if you really want to learn more about it, I'm sure someone else would be more happy to fill you in.
And I mean, you could.
Don't talk to that guy. That guy, I don't know where
who's this one.
He's a hadith rejecter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anything you say about hadith, he's not going to accept it.
He doesn't accept because you're. Okay. Yeah, there are some Quranists only.
Yeah, don't talk to them.
But there's no evidence to show.
Yeah.
Muhammad saying, I've left my religion and I'm now a prophet,
Muslim,
and I'm doing this, or I'm sharing the revelation about the one true God. There isn't any sort of, like when you're driving, you take a sort of left or right. There is no junction. So Muhammad, when he talks about his prophethood, it's just a continuation, as opposed to a change.
So clarify, please.
So what I'm trying to say is, what he was born into. There's no change. So he was born into paganism. It's deep. Don't worry, it's deep. It's deep. Listen. So you can get the deep. See how deep it is. So Muhammad was born into paganism on the principle of Ibn Ishaq, and also we know what his parents were. They were pagans, as you've said. Now, there's no evidence anywhere in the Hadith, in the Quran, to suggest that there's been a divergence of such.
From post-prophet to pre-prophet. Pre-prophet to post-prophet.
Correct.
I don't know.
Because you would then...
know.
No, you know why? Do you know why you don't know his religion?
Why?
Because there's been no divergence.
There's no change.
No change.
So basically, it's
But can you see how deep it is?
I understand what you're saying, but I just want to make sure, I don't misquote you.
Heaven's glory, free, testify divine. 1 John chapter 5 verse 7, no lie. Can you see the GodHead's design? Revelation 21 verse 7, divine sign. Jesus, God in heaven, reigning supreme. No weapon from condemned the blessed dream. God's alive, reverence, face, no tokens. Perfect love, holy one, never broken. 3 in 1, GodHead's group begun. GodHead, the victory is won. Let him know, brother. Let him know. Yeah. Come on. Let him know, brother.